All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. I yeah, I haven't uploaded or streamed over here in a while. Things have been, let me move this mic over a little bit more. There we go. That's perfect. I haven't uploaded or streamed over here in a while. I actually have a Star Trek video that I'm working on. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, things have just been busy. I've been ripping and running and on the road a little bit. So, shoot, things there isn't always time for everything. But in the process of finishing my Star Trek video, get this just right. Yeah, that's good. In the process of finishing my Star Trek video, I saw some bad news yesterday, and that was that Burt Young passed away. And so I decided to do a short stream as I finish up my Star Trek video, which is a pre-record. I decided to do a short stream on Burt Young and his passing. Since I started this channel, I have created several offerings capturing when actors and actresses have died. I think the first one was Yaphet Kotto. Let's see. And then it was Jerry Stiller, who played Frank Costanza in the Seinfeld series. And then he starred in King of Queens, and then Clarence Williams the third. Is it third? Clarence Williams. I think it was the third. Clarence Williams. You guys know who I'm talking about. Purple Rain, the Mod Squad, Sugar Hill, Clarence Williams the third. See, I have to look it up. I hate to misspeak when I'm online. Let's see. Clarence. Yeah, Clarence Williams the third. I sometimes you have to just trust yourself. So I did something when he died. I did something when Nichelle Nichols died. I did something brief when Leonard Nimoy died. Paul Rubens, when he died, I did something for him. So yeah, I grew up with a lot of these actors and actresses, and when someone noteworthy passes away, I think it's worth remembering them. So I'm going to play my intro, and I'm going to have an article here on Burt Young from Variety, and then I'm going to wrap this stream up. I'm going to read the article. It's a short piece, but it's my way to pay tribute to Burt Young, and he is definitely an actor that I grew up with, and I'm going to talk about that on the other side of the intro. I'm going to share this over on my original channel. I don't know if anyone over there wants to come watch this. I don't know if anyone over there has a connection with Burt Young, but I definitely do. I see people coming in and people hopping in and hopping back out. However long you're here, please smash that like button. The likes are free and they help the channel out a great deal. Hopefully this will be a good StreamYard night. I did something on my sports channel on Tuesday and StreamYard was having issues. All right, please smash that like button. That would help me out a great deal. If you hop in and hop out, please smash that like button. Okay, so let me slow down. Okay, so I'm going to play my introduction, my brief introduction, and then I am going to read the article. Well, first I'll talk about some memories of Burt Young. But then I'll wrap the stream up. I don't intend to go long with this one. Please smash that like button if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And thank you to everyone who continues to watch the content in my catalog. Not everything takes off right away. Some things continue to get views the longer they're up. So thank you to everyone who's gone back into my library and watched my content. I will see you on the other side of the intro. And something happens during this battle that we had never seen in the cartoon series up to that point, which was some of the characters started dying. So that's what I think that episode was about. I think it said a lot. I think it was speaking to quite a bit. And it goes back to, at some point, can a population of people based upon race, can they eventually come together and stop the fighting and stop discriminating against one another? And so they get into this dialogue where Sal says, look, this is my pizzeria. If you want to have your own pizzeria, you can get your own pizzeria. But for now, in Sal's, there are only Italians up on the wall. Hierarchies, distinct classes, distinct sects of people. Sex, S-E-C-T-S, not S-E-X. Distinct groups of people where some people have access and some people don't, where some people are accepted and some people are not, when some people, that's a part of us as a species. That's a part of us as a race. And it's always been there, even if nobody's talking about it. Instead, bigoted anti-hero Archie, played by Carol O'Connor, and his dingbat wife Edith, played by Jean Stapleton, along with their rebelliously progressive daughter Gloria, Sally Struthers, and son-in-law Mike, i.e. Meathead, Rob Reiner, mined comedy gold out of hot-button subjects such as racism, rape, immigration, gun control, and homophobia. But Lieutenant Savick wanted to do everything by the book. She knew all the regulations, she knew all the rules, and she knew all of the standard operating procedures for Starfleet. Welcome to Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. Here I discuss media of all kinds, movies, TV shows, favorite characters, book readings, retrospectives, sometimes music, all media, all of it. Everyone, that is my updated intro. Things will continue to grow and evolve as I have this channel for however much longer I have this channel. Just a brief history. I was looking at that and I was thinking, Sal's Pizzeria. People are watching that one right now. I think I did that one back in September of last year, maybe earlier this year. But that I created that video because I used a YouTube short just to say that it's been a while since I created content and more content is on the way. And someone came in and said, you shouldn't use shorts just to say that you're making more content. And I said, this is my channel. It's my channel. This is my channel. I can do whatever I want to do with my channel. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. And so that made me think about Sal's Pizzeria from Do the Right Thing. And that's where that came from. So people are still watching that, which is very, very cool. All right. Do the Right Thing. That came out in the late 1980s. The 1980s was a great time for movies. It was a classic time for movies, and probably one of the most important movies that I've ever watched in my lifetime. and probably the first meaningful movie that I watched in my lifetime was Rocky 3. Rocky 3. I'd put Rocky 3, for me personally, in terms of those late 1970s movies and those early 1980s movies. For me, Rocky 3 is right up there with Superman 2, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, the Star Wars trilogy. This was one of the this is still one of my favorite movies of all the Rocky movies. This one, I know that the motion picture is the one that set things in motion. You know, the second one is when he won the title from Apollo Creed, but this one is the first one I ever went to go see. I think this one was released in 1982. And the story is, what's going on, Sheed? Thank you for stopping through. The story with Rocky 3. We were in Atlanta. She's there in the chat. We were there in Atlanta visiting relatives. Most of my mom's, well, a good number of my mother's brothers and sisters moved to Atlanta. A lot of Buffalo folks did, and we were, I think it might have been Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving or the day after that, and we were, as a family, we decided to go to the movies. And this was back when you had the newspaper, and you open up the newspaper, and it had all the movie times, and it had all the pictures of the headlining movies and the movies that were just released. And I forget what everyone else wanted to see, but I saw the picture of Rocky 3. I saw the picture of Sylvester Stallone in his boxing gloves, and the picture of Mr. T there, and I think Talia Shire and Burt Young and Burgess Meredith. And I said, I want to go see that. I want to go see that movie. And the rest of the family didn't want to see it. So my uncle Bodine, he said, I'll take Anwar to go see Rocky 3. And what was I, 6 years old? It was one of the best things in my 6 years that I'd ever seen. There was that opening scene of Rocky defeating Apollo Creed for the title. And then there was that opening montage of Rocky going on his run as the heavyweight champion. And then there was that that montage, the end of the montage, where Clubber Lang, played by Mr. T, is training to beat Rocky. He sees Rocky, and they created this hunter and the hunted type of thing where Rocky won the title in the beginning, and then he became the Great White Hope, and he was uplifted, and he was getting endorsements, and he was doing fundraisers, and he became this clean version of himself, this civilized version of himself. And then you had the hunter who was looking on and saying, okay, I can beat him, and I'm better than him. And Rocky is beating all setups, and I want my shot at the title. Give me Rocky Balboa. So you had the hunter and you had the hunted. One person who's civilized and polished and getting high off the hog and living well. And in some instances, as we saw later in the movie, getting lazy, getting complacent. And then you had the hungry fighter who was training out in the wild and who just wanted his chance to compete for the title. And that's what Rocky 3 was about. But yeah, she says, best 6-year-old man ever. I guess I'm going back to being 6 years old, Sheet, as I'm talking about this. But the movie opens up immediately after that montage, the Eye of the Tiger. It's all under a version of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. It's not the one that's on the soundtrack. I had the vinyl soundtrack as well, and I'd play it on my little record player. My mother gave that record player away to somebody, by the way, but that's okay. I had outgrown it. But after that montage, the movie cuts to Paulie. And if those of you who are familiar with the Rocky Balboa saga, Paulie was Rocky's brother-in-law from the old neighborhood. That was Adrian's older brother. Paulie actually set Rocky and Adrian up. And so it cuts to Paulie. He's been drinking. He's at the old bar. You have to watch Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 to know what the old bar is. And the guys say, hey, Rock, hey, Paulie, when you see the Rock, tell him all the guys said, hey. And Paulie's drinking, and he's a little bit tired of Rocky. He's tired of seeing Rocky's success because he feels a little bit left out, and he feels a little bit left behind, even though Rocky has given him a Timex watch, which Paulie joking, well, he's not joking, but he calls it an X-Lax watch, and Paulie's himself. You can see that he's living well off of Rocky's success, but he doesn't feel like he's been treated the same way that Mickey has, and he doesn't feel like he's been a part of Rocky's success. So that first part of the movie, that first scene is Paulie getting drunk, throwing a liquor bottle at the Rocky pinball machine, because they made a pinball machine for Rocky, and then Rocky coming to the jail cell and posting bail for Paulie. And then, there's a scene where Rocky, they're in the parking deck, and Rocky basically gives him some tough love and says, "You're just a jealous, lazy bum. You're like a brother to me, but you're like a jealous, lazy bum." And then Paulie starts swinging off on him and then asks him for a job. But that was Burt Young. Burt Young played Paulie. And Paulie was Rocky's enigmatic brother-in-law / friend from the old neighborhood. He was Adrian's older brother, who I think in Rocky 5, he amassed so many gambling debts that he cost the Balboas their fortune. And that's what made them have to go back to the old neighborhood. But he was portrayed by Burt Young. And he, for all the Rocky movies, he wasn't in the Creed movies, but Paulie, see, in my mind, they're the same guy. But Burt Young was in all of those movies. And he was as much a part of that franchise as Adrian, played by Talia Shire, and Mickey Goldmill, played by Burgess Meredith, and Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers. And he was as much a part of that franchise as those characters and actors and actresses. He was sometimes there for drama, but he was also there sometimes for comic relief as well. But anyway, so when I got the news yesterday that Burt Young passed away, that hit me in a certain kind of way, because I very much grew up seeing Burt Young play Paulie. And as we'll read in this piece, he played in some other things as well. I'm thinking about Back to School starring Rodney Dangerfield. But he was very much a part of my childhood. And anytime an actor or an actress passes away, for me, that's significant. By the way, I also want to acknowledge, I haven't made a video on her, but Suzanne Summers passed away as well. I believe Suzanne Summers starred with John Ritter and the other woman, I can't think of her name, the brunette, in Three's Company. So, hey, as Paul Edgecombe said in A Green Mile, we all owe a debt. All right, let me get to this so I can end this and relax for the rest of the night. This is entitled Burt Young, who played Paulie in the Rocky films, dies at 83. So he had a nice long life for a man. 83, that's a nice long life, and he did a lot in his 83 years. All right. This was written by Carmel Dagan. You can Google this if you want. I don't think there's any spam on this. YouTube is taking out links from your description box now if they think it's spam. All right, there's Burt Young right there. Burt Young, who played Paulie in 6 of the Rocky films starring Sylvester Stallone, drawing an Oscar nomination for supporting actor for his performance in the 1976 original, has died. His daughter, Anne Morea Steigenzer, confirmed to the New York Times he was 83. 1976. That was a very good year. Roger Ebert gave Young his props for his performance in the first Rocky film, and Burt Young as Adrian's brother, defeated and resentful, loyal and bitter, caring about people enough to hurt them just to draw attention to his grief. The New York Times, in an absolutely scathing, completely dismissive review of the film, nevertheless said Burt Young is effective as Rocky's best friend, a beer guzzling mug. Panino. I never knew his last name in the films. Paulie Panino. So that means Adrian's last name was Panino. They were Italian, just like Rocky. Uh, Young's temperamental, jealous, but nonetheless loyal and caring Paulie Panino was Rocky's best friend. He would defend the Italian stallion if someone insulted him, but he was a problematic friend who shouts at Adrian during her pregnancy, resulting in the premature birth of Rocky's son. Draws Balboa into a street fight, and in 1990's Rocky 5 is the cause of the Balboa's bankruptcy. Yep. Gambling debts. In 2006's Rocky Balboa, Paulie is back where he started, working at the meatpacking plant, but he's laid off and loses his skepticism about Rocky's return to the ring and serves as his corner man. Young did not appear in 2015's Creed, as Paulie is said to have died in 2012. StreamYard is doing the antenna thing. Give me a moment here. All right. My solid connection is back. The exceptionally prolific Young, who was never much to look at, making him the perfect character actor, had a way of taking a thug or a goon or a mug and giving him more personality, more sympathy, somehow than the role deserved. In a negative 2011, in a negative 2011 review of Robert Aldrich's 1977 police dramedy, the Choir Boys, a poor adaptation of the Joseph Wambaugh novel, critic Richard Winters wrote, "There are a few bright spots. I really liked the Burt Young character. Many people remember him best from the Rocky movies. Here he plays an incredibly grungy, crass police sergeant who exposes a tender side at a completely unexpected moment." Please smash that like button if you haven't. Young played one of the truckers in Sam Peckinpah's Exorable Convoy, 1978, starring Chris Christopherson, and played the chauffeur and bodyguard of the Robert Dangerfield character in the 19. I'm sorry, let me read that again. It's late. I just got back from exercising. Young played one of the truckers in Sam Peckinpah's Exorable Convoy from 1978, starring Chris Christopherson, and played chauffeur and bodyguard of the Rodney Dangerfield character in the 1986 comedy Back to School. I remember Back to School, and this is a good reminder because Convoy, that's a movie that when I was a youngster, let's see, I was born in 76, that was released in 82, but yeah, around that time we had HBO or one of the movie channels, and Convoy came on, and that was a movie I really enjoyed. Those truckers going across the country, defying the law. Chris Christopherson, Ernest Borgnine, Burt Young, uh, Ali McGraw. I think she played the female lead opposite Chris Christopherson. Yeah, so these were all classic 1980s movies. I forgot all about Convoy. Please smash that like button if you haven't. Hold on a second. StreamYard is doing the antenna thing again. Let me know if you can still hear me. All right. Convoy, man, this is taking me back. And then back to school. That was funny. Another example of the actor managing to score despite a generally mediocre film was Robert Aldrich's 1981 girls wrestling film, uh, All the Marbles, starring Peter Falk. Critic Dennis Schwartz wrote in 2011. Burt Young, as the oily wrestling promoter who resents Falk for his independence, has a nice turn in a supporting role. In a memorable scene in Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America in 1984, I don't remember that one, that also featured a young Joe Pesci. Young played a hood who eats crudely and tells a very off-color story about how he got clued into a Detroit diamond shipment ripe for heisting. The actor played Bed Bug Eddie, a vindictive mobster whose one that, that's $1.5 million of the two protagonists in 1984's The Pope of Greenwich Village, played by Eric Roberts, and Mickey Rourke unwisely steal from the safe. In another characterful turn in Yuli Edel's 1990 film Last Exit to Brooklyn, he played Big Joe, one of many who's thrown out of work by the strike at the heart of the movie. He is violent, none too bright, and yet somehow a decent man concerned about his family. A classic Burt Young character. Big Joe's wife tells one day that his daughter, played by Ricky Lake, in 8 months pregnant, to which he replies, she's just fat. Okay, let me read that again. Big Joe's wife tells one day that his daughter, played by Ricky Lake, is 8 months pregnant, to which he replies, she's just fat. All right. This should almost be done, everyone. In the 1999 romantic comedy Mickey Blue Eyes, in which Hugh Grant falls in love with a gal, Jean Triplehorn, from a mobbed up family. James Caan played her father, and Young played the big boss. By this point, Burt Young had made as many movies with Caan as he had with Stallone. In 2006's Transamerica, in which Felicity Huffman delightfully played a very proper pre-op transsexual who's traveling across the country, Fionnuala Flanagan, and Young played her crass parents, whom she visits in Phoenix. In Tom McCarthy's 2011 film Win-Win, Paul Giamatti played a fed-up lawyer who double-crosses his client, Young, who's moving into Alzheimer's but refusing to leave his home. Who is moving into Alzheimer's but is refusing to leave his home by becoming his legal guardian and moving him into a nursing home. The actor had a supporting role in Raymond De Felita's 2014 crime drama Rob the Mob, starring Michael Pitt and Ray Romano. Young tried series regular television with the NBC comedy Roomies in 1987, but about a 15-year-old Marine Sergeant who rooms with a young genius played by Corey Haim when they both go to college, but the show lasted only 8 episodes. Young appeared in TV movies and guested on Tales from the Crypt, Columbo, The Outer Limits, Russian Doll, and even Walker, Texas Ranger. More fittingly, he appeared in a 2001 episode of The Sopranos as the father of Steve Sharippa's Bobby Bacalieri. Tony mentions to Bobby Bacala that it is odd that he'd never whacked anyone, considering his father, who fronted as a barber, was the fucking Terminator in that respect. All right. Young Bobby Sr., who's suffering from lung cancer, comes out of retirement after Tony gives him the job of killing Salvatore Mustang Sally in Stilly, but he died after choking on blood, losing control of his car, and crashing into a sign post while leaving the scene of his final hit. I thought this was short. More impressive, however, was the actor's masterful performance in a 1997 episode of Law and Order called Mad Dog. He played a paroled sex offender similar to those who got him incarcerated, but he's put under so much pressure by the police, and especially Sam Waterson's executive DA McCoy, that ultimately he is perhaps forced into reoffending with disastrous results. Oh boy, this is longer than I thought it was. If you're just coming in, please smash that like button. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to wrap this stream up. How much longer this is? Yeah, this is the last part. All right. And this, it looks like this gets into his life. Young was born in Queens, New York, to two magazine said Young was mysterious about many details of his past, including his family's original last name. He dropped out of school when he was 15 to join the Marines, serving from 1957 to 59. He was trained by Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio. The actor made his uncredited screen debut as a bartender in an episode of The Doctors in 1969. The next year, he made his big screen debut. He had a small part as a hood in Ivan Passer's Born to Win. That was 1971, which starred George Segal and Paula Prentice and featured a young Robert De Niro, and appeared in the crime comedy The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, starring Jerry Orbach, with De Niro again in a supporting role, and the well-regarded crime drama Across 110th Street. Young had a supporting role in Mark Rydell's Cinderella Liberty Arms, but he first really made an impression in Roman Polanski's Chinatown as Curly, the fisherman who hired Jack Nicholson's J.J. Gittis on an earlier case, and is willing to help when Gitz wants Curly to smuggle Faye Dunaway's Evelyn and her daughter / sister Catherine out of the city and away from John Huston's Hollis Mulray, a plan that fails. Toback scripted The Gambler in 1974, starring Khan. Young played another hood, but this time he attracted the notice of critic Jonathan Rosenbaum in the monthly film Bulletin, who in a negative review of the film declared, "It is worth noting that some of the actors do what they can to enliven the relatively marginal parts of the narrative." Burt Young as Carmine, the loan shark hood, describes a parabola from a homely amiability to cause brutality that is truly terrifying. I can pause. Contemporary action thriller The Killer Elite. Young was again reteamed with Khan, playing the loyal driver for Mac, Khan's agent, Mike Locken, in a movie full of betrayals. It was in this role that Young caught the attention of Stallone. In Mark Rydell's period heist film Harry and Walter Go to New York, 1976. 1976 was a good year, starring Khan and Elliot Gould And clearly inspired by the Sting, Young got a chance to be on the other side of the law for a change, playing the warden of the prison in which the grand scheme is hatched. But that same year, he made another film that would be far more important in determining the arc of his acting career. In the John G. Avildsen directed Rocky, scripted by Stallone, and with Young a third billed as Paulie. Young penned the screenplays to the 1978 CBS TV movie Daddy, I Don't Like It Like This, and the 1978 film Uncle Joe Shannon, in which he starred as the title character. Stallone paid tribute to his Rocky co-star on Instagram, writing, "To my dear friend Burt Young, you were an incredible man's an artist. I and the world will miss you very much." I don't know if that's supposed to say incredible man or if that's a typo. Young's wife, Gloria, died in 1974. He is survived by a daughter, Anne Morea. All right. There's Stallone and Young right there in the original Rocky. And that's the end. All right. Look, I know a lot of viewers, as a content creator, you have to be careful about reading things. A lot of viewers might not like that. Hold on. A lot of viewers might not like seeing a content creator read a piece. I thought that was going to be shorter, but it was longer. But I just wanted to pay tribute to Burt Young myself here. And yeah, yes, sir. Rest in power. And thank you for all of the memories and all of the roles. I've watched some of the Rocky movies hundreds of times by this point in my life. And I have this one, I have this on DVD, and I also have it on my iTunes. So this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah, so everyone, thank you for, well, if you watch this on the playback, thank you for watching. Please leave it a like. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. I created this channel as a spinoff from my original channel. On my original channel, when I first started, I was doing all kinds of things over there. And then I decided to start a sports channel and a science and technology channel and an entertainment and media channel. So that's where this channel came from. Anyhow, let me wrap this up and go and relax. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you are a returning sub, please like this stream and share it if you see fit. If you want to donate something to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. And please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter, as I am a writer in addition to being a YouTube content creator. The link to my newsletter is in the description box below. So everyone, with that, enjoy the rest of your night. I will talk to you again soon. Hopefully my Star Trek pre-record will be the next offering on this channel. So with that, as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.